Bruins have won 2 straight on their tour of Western Canada. That was in Calgary the other night.
That's
there,
right.
Judd, is where that game was. Bruins right the ship. They win in overtime. David Pastrnak with the OT winner there. And for more on the Bees on a Bruins Thursday in the final hour of Jones and Keefe here on WEEI, it's Andrew Raycroft in Nesson. He's brought to you by John Sewer and Drain Cleaning, the name to know when your drains don't flow. What's up, Razor? How we doing?
What's up? Happy afternoon. Everyone good?
Yes.
Oh, we're very, very good. The Bruins are doing better after their victory the other night. Look, Rocky, to start this road trip, outscored 13-2. They played better these last couple of games. What's the difference been in your mind?
Well, they haven't taken penalties. That's the big one. Both of those blowout games, they took 6 penalty minutes within the first 12 minutes of both games. So you're on the road, you're grinding, and against 2 pretty good opponents, and you're behind the 8 ball right out of the gate. So they minimized that the last 2 games. Much better starts, much better, much more discipline, and just getting back to that defensiveness that they've had since Joe Sacco became coach, other than those 2 games on the road.
So Elias Lindholm had a goal and assist against one of his former teams. Actually, the game before that, he had an assist against another former team. Still sitting at, 4 goals, 12 assists in 33 games for Lindholm, who was a guy I was excited about when they got him. I thought he was going to be a bit of an upgrade. Is this somebody that they can rely on, or is this just like a little bit of a blip because he's maybe motivated against former teams?
Well, hopefully it's not that. Hopefully it's him getting used to and getting over the pressure, signing the big deal, and coming here with the expectations. I don't think he's a 40-goal guy. He's done that once in his career, but he certainly has the talent and needs to be, with that contract, a 20 to 30 guy. So if he can pace out that way the rest of the season, the Bruins have been able to survive his lack of goal scoring. But the fact he's got a goal and 2 assists in the last couple of games, hopefully it's more of, all right, I'm starting to feel good, starting to understand where I need to go and the patterns out on the ice, and he gets on a bit of a roll here the last 50 games of the season.
We ask you this every time you come on, but Jeremy Swayman, it's a couple of good games here. It's a bad goal there, mixed in with a bad game after the couple of good ones. It's been up and down, and mostly really down on balance this season. What have you seen from him over the last week plus, and what's your confidence level that he can right the ship and really look like the Jeremy Swayman from a year ago?
Well, I love this week. I love him giving up. I don't love him giving up 8 goals, but I love the fact that he bounced back from that and played a really solid game in Vancouver. The guys obviously played great in front of him, didn't need much. I thought against Calgary, he made some big saves when they were down 2-1, when they were down 3-1, a big breakaway save in the third to keep them in it. So I like his resiliency this week. He still isn't getting all of the breaks. That we just heard the Lomberg goal deflected right on the tape to Lomberg. So it hasn't gone real smoothly for him, but I like his fight. I like his bounce back, and I think he continues to grow his game. Of course, when March comes, it's got to be back to what it was last season, but I think he's working into that, and I think the season's going to dictate that a little bit.
So the Bruins face Connor McDavid tonight, and still young, but this is his 10th year in the league. Is he the greatest player of all time, or does he have a chance to become the greatest player of all time?
Well, I would say, it's blasphemy for me to say that compared to Wayne Gretzky. I mean, Wayne's the greatest of all time, but I think the actual skill, talent, skating ability, there's no one better. And I think the big thing for me is there has never been a gap between the best player and the second best player quite the same as what Connor's done compared to everyone else in the league. Wayne always had Mario Lemieux or Jaromir Jagr, or this is different. Like, you watch Connor McDavid, turn the TV on tonight, folks, at least for the first period, to watch him skate. You know exactly when he's on the ice because he is faster and better than everybody else. So for me, I think his level of play is better all time, but for me, Wayne's still the best player overall, kind of like the Tom Brady, Patrick Mahomes thing, right? Like, Mahomes probably is playing at a higher level, but Tom Brady's still the greatest, similar to McDavid and Gretzky.
Well, we always attach, winning the Super Bowl to the quarterback, or like in the NBA, like if you're the best player, there's really not a lot of excuses. Like you need to win it, and like the best player in the NBA really can control it, just like the quarterback can. How do you view it in hockey? Like the best player at some point probably has to get a lot of pressure to win it. I know, like eventually with Ovechkin, right? There was a lot of like, oh, Ovechkin hasn't won it. Then he did. He broke through. But if you're the best player, especially if there's this big gap, and I agree with you, it seems like there is a big gap between he and the next best guy. At what point, or unless you think it's already there, is he going to start to get a lot of pressure to win the whole? I know they were close last year, but win the whole thing.
Yeah, it's getting there. It's certainly you're not graded the same way in hockey. I agree 100%. Football and basketball especially, it's the best player dictates so much more. There's so many more circumstances with hockey. You need so many more variables, and you need 19 other guys to be good. But to your point, you do need to win it once. If he goes 22 years in the NHL and second most points all time and 9 MVPs and doesn't win it, it will be a big disappointment, no question. But he does still have a lot of time, and really, I like to your point again, which is a really good one, is that you only have to kind of win it once in hockey. Like Ovechkin, he won it once, and that's always. It's never gonna. You never go to him and say, "Well, he should have won 3." You win 1 in hockey, it does really go away, and you don't need to win 4 or 5 or 6 like Patrick Mahomes does.
Mm-hmm. Talking to Andrew Raycroft of Nesson, the Razor. He joins us every Bruins Thursday here on Jones and Keefe. I was just looking up all the top goaltending cap hits in the league. Shesterkin's number 1 at 11.5. He has not had a good year. Bobrovsky, $10 million. They won the cup with him. Is that a contract they're happy with? Vasilevsky's in the top 10 goals against. Hellebuck leads the league in goals against. Then you get into Sorokin, Swayman, Allmark, who's actually played better. Will there be a hesitance to pay the next goalie coming up based on how some of these contracts have worked out to this point?
No, there won't be now. There was 3 or 4 years ago. That's going to change. The cap's going up, and it's going to continue to go up, and it's going to go up in a big way. Like we're talking $3-4 million a year kind of from now on, or at least for the foreseeable future. So the NHL salary cap's going to climb up over $100 million pretty quickly here from all the numbers, and that will allow you to, I think you still stick around that 10% of the cap you want to spend on goaltending is kind of the sweet spot. So the numbers are going to go up for the goaltenders. We saw that with Swayman. 4 guys signed $8 million deals this year. That hasn't happened. And then of course the Shesterkin deal. So I don't think the dollars itself are going to go up, but you're really looking at the percentage of the cap going to goaltenders, and I think that kind of is falling in place with the cap going up at that 10% number.
How would you grade out just the Joe Sacco sort of era here? We knew there was a soft spot in the schedule when he first took over. Then you have this big road trip, and if you just add it up all together, you think Cam Neely, Don Sweeney, and guys like that are satisfied with how things have gone, at least in this short term?
I do. They're 9-4, which is great. But on top of it, it's just they've gotten back to their identity. They're just they're a better team than what they were prior to Joe Sacco taking over. There's a little more of a focus on the things that they do well: defense, penalty killing, and I think they're growing their game better. And I think you hear it in the players too. Brad talked about it after last game, the belief to actually come back in these games like they did the other night, the confidence that they're starting to gain within each other and with each other. So no, I think it turned out to be a good move, a good timely move to this point. But of course, it's all about how the next 3 months go at the end of the day and getting into the playoffs and having a run then.
Good question from the Twitch chat. When do you expect Patra back up? I know it's very surprising. I know, but when do you expect Patra back up? He's been on a tear in Providence. Yeah. The Bruins need all the help they can get, at least on balance this year in the scoring department. Would you expect him back soon?
I don't expect him soon, barring an injury or for another reason. But
bad question by the Twitch chat. I take it back.
Yeah, terrible.
Yeah.
No. It is a good question. It is a good question. I think he's still just 20 years old, and he's hoping to finish his entire first pro season ever. Last year, of course, it got cut short with the shoulder injury right around this time last year. This is a development move. They don't want him to not score, and the fact I think that the best part about this is that we are talking about him. A lot of you can get sent to the minors and never come back. I know a lot of guys that started out great, like he did as a young kid, go to the minor and never really figure out how to be a pro. So the fact that he's gone down there, the fact that he's on a tear is a good thing. If he continues on a tear, at some point he forces them to call him up, but I think they're more than happy to let him develop and let him feel great about his game. And if it's in another couple of months he gets called up, or even at the start of next year and he scores 40 goals in the minors the rest of the way, he'll be more ready to be that guy at this level in the NHL.
Do you have any big plans for Boxing Day? And for us dumb Americans, what is Boxing Day?
Yeah, good question.
Thank you.
Boxing Day is the day after Christmas, December 26th. It's a day of relaxation and getting over the Christmas. Of course, in Canada, there's lots of Boxing Day sales and people go out and shop. It's kind of like Black Friday, not to the same level, but to the Canadian level.
Cash
so a
those
lot
rebates.
of people go out and cash the rebates, bring their new stuff in, get the exchange of the gifts they don't really like but had to act like it the day before, and get the store credit. For myself,
it's a polite Canadian return your gift day is what it is. It's like, oh hey,
get the stuff you really want.
You know what? I don't really appreciate this, and so I'm going to bring it back in a polite way. That makes sense. Huh.
And you do it nice and quickly so no one recognizes. That's kind of the way. There you go.
We should do that here.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah, you run into you run into your Nesson coworkers there when you're showing up at like a Best Buy or whatever. They're like, oh wait a minute, what are you doing here?
No, I just got two of these.
I love this. It's my favorite.
Not. Yeah.
Are you big on the inflatables? We were just doing an inflatable store in Keefe Madness. Our coworker Andy Hart very big on it.
Yeah.
You got the house all decorated there, Razor?
We have, a little decorated, not nearly as much as what my daughter would like. I mean, I had to put the tree up and do the inside of the house. So, I've got the garland, some of the lights, but not the inflatables, although that Grinch is awesome. Like, I really appreciate the fact you're dressing up as a Grinch and stealing other people's Santas. Like, that's kind of funny to me.
Yeah.
And it would be really funny, right? It'd be really funny if you just do it to like your buddies' houses. Like that is a great prank. I'm thinking about putting a Grinch mask on and stealing inflatables just to hear them complain over the next couple of days.
That is a good idea. Also, last thing for me, where do you stand on eggnog?
No. I used to like it, but I think as I've gotten older, a couple poor experiences. The other thing is, it only kind of goes with rum, right? And I do not do rum. Do you do like eggnog and vodka?
So I do spiced rum mostly, but you can do brandy, you can do bourbon, and you can do like vodka with Kahlua. Fitzy's big on that. It's called the Yellow Russian. You do eggnog, vodka, Kahlua, and it's delicious.
Yeah.
Okay. You can put whatever you want in there.
Eggnog and a Caesar razor. That's what you got to have. One of those. Yeah.
Well, no. That's not good at all. So no, the spiced rum and the rum is not good for me. I have a poor tolerance. Like my genetics. I don't do well with rum.
That's what it is.
You know your limitations. That's smart.
Yeah, it's like me and Goldschlager.
Water, you get angry, right? Like you can't do it. Yeah.
Okay. Well, Razor, good chat. If we don't talk to you again before Christmas, holidays, Boxing Day, Merry to you. We'll talk soon.
Yeah, you guys too. Have a great holiday. Really appreciate it. Thank you.
The